Once the teams take the court, anything can happen. Hall, 8 to shoot. Hall, the runner! Loose ball! It's good! With 4.4 to go! Shannon!
Don't want to foul!
Shannon from the corner! And it's over! Gonzaga! The flipper still fits! Now Cinderella meets Connecticut. The Huskies know anything can happen, but this year's team is intent on erasing the image of unfulfilled expectations and going where no UConn team has gone before. The Final Four awaits one team. Will it be David or Goliath? Arizona, where before the sun sets in the west, one team will have a ticket to the Final Four. From the America West Arena, it's the West Regional Final, a 10 versus a 1, Gonzaga and UConn. And the bracket here in the West, Gonzaga advancing by beating Florida and UConn advancing by beating Iowa. Gus Johnson along with Dan Bonner. And for Gonzaga, Cinderella is still alive and she likes to shoot the 3.
Gus, the key number for this Cinderella isn't 2 as in evil stepsisters, but it's 3. Gonzaga has made 32 three-point field goals in this tournament. In fact, they've got 8 different guys who have made three-point baskets. Richie Crom made 5 of them in the big win against Florida. Matt Santangelo had 2. Connecticut better get out and guard the three-point line.
As for UConn, this team trying to get to the Final Four for the first time in the school's history. And Danny, they've got 2 great leaders, Khalid El-Amin and Rip Hamilton.
Gus, these 2 guys really did carry the load in a very physical, very tough game against Iowa. They have led Connecticut all year long, different leadership styles. Hamilton, the first-team All-American, very smooth. And El-Amin, nobody would accuse him of being smooth, a vocal leader, but they both have success, and they're going to need to have success today.
So UConn and Gonzaga set to meet each other for the first time with a trip to the Final Four on the line. A sellout crowd in Phoenix, over 18,000, ready to see Gonzaga and the Connecticut Huskies in the bracket here in the West. The final, Connecticut taking on Gonzaga, UConn beating Iowa, Gonzaga, Florida. And to get to the Final 8, the Gonzaga Bulldogs have been giant killers, knocking off Minnesota, Stanford, and Florida. But they face the ultimate test today against UConn. It's like David and Goliath.
Well, I think this has got a lot of similarities to David versus Goliath. Yeah, I think that there's no question this is the first time in this tournament that we feel like we're up against huge obstacles.
David's awful good. David can throw those rocks. He doesn't have just one slingshot. He's about 6 of them I can think of. And he doesn't, unfortunately, do it from short range. He does it from a distance where they hurt a lot more. They're the best three-point shooting team we've faced.
What we told our kids is this has got to be another Stanford effort where we understand that every possession, you can't let a great team like this get rolling.
Gonzaga trying to advance to the Final Four as a number 10 seed. It will be a tremendous feat. And for more on the Bulldogs, let's go to Barry Booker.
Gus, Gonzaga has generated more headlines than anyone in the tournament to this point. And they've already written one for tomorrow. They want to change UConn to UCann. I just spoke to their assistant coaches and looked for Gonzaga to play a little triangle and 2 and diamond and 1 today to try and contain Richard Hamilton and Khalid El-Amin. Back to you, Gus.
All right, Barry, so coming up, the starting lineups and the opening tip from the West.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Genuine Chevrolet, Arthur Anderson's, Docker's Khakis, and by Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar.
Chapter 80 degrees and sunny outside the America West Arena. We're set for Gonzaga and Connecticut for a trip to the Final Four. Dan Munson, second year, 37 years old. He's the head coach for the Bulldogs. His lineup in the front court from Eaton and Casey Calvary. And in the back court, Quentin Hall and Matt Santangelo. Jim Calhoun, the head coach for the Connecticut Huskies, 13th year, looking for his first trip to the Final Four. And the starting lineup for UConn. Take a look in the front court, Freeman, Voskuhl, and Rip Hamilton. And in the back court, their leader, Khalid El-Amin and Ricky Moore. The officials today, Andre Patillo, Larry Rose, and Bobby Hunt. And Dan, early on, what should we look forward to seeing between these two?
Gonzaga is going to try to shoot the three, Gus. UConn is going to try to defend the three, look for the Huskies to get out and run. They're one of the country's top teams in transition.
And Gonzaga, coming into this game, they defeated Florida by 1 point on Thursday. Their profile, they play in the West Coast Conference. Close to 5,000 students in attendance. Their record 28-6. That young man there, Richie Fromm, is the three-point bomber. Matt Santangelo as well. He can shoot it from the arc. Connecticut 78-68 winners over Iowa on Thursday. So the Huskies in white, the Bulldogs in blue. And here we go. Controlled by Gonzaga. Here's Quentin Hall, the senior from the Bahamas. He draws El-Amin.
Connecticut opens in the man-to-man. Hamilton is matched up against Fromm.
Santangelo.
Santangelo, very important as a ball handler, and Gus, Ricky Moore is all over it.
Hall cut off by El-Amin. Picks up his dribble, 12 to shoot. Casey Calvary down the lane. 6 to shoot. Fromm, quick release. Off the back iron, Freeman boxes out and comes up with the board.
Freeman is only 6'7", but he's a tremendous rebounder. Eaton is 6'11", and Freeman moved him right out. And Gonzaga opens in the man-to-man as well.
Khalid El-Amin, the sophomore from Minneapolis. He is the straw that stirs the drink for this UConn squad. Ricky Moore. And a whistle and foul on the baseline.
Dan Munson complaining about that particular call, and Larry Rose giving him the stare down early in the game. Munson is upset. He felt as if there was some physical play when his team had the ball on offense. Doesn't understand why the foul was called against the Bulldogs.
Matt Santangelo picks up his first. A minute into the first half, no score from Phoenix. Rip Hamilton, great ball fake, steps back and knocks it down from 12.
And here's the Connecticut pressure.
Santangelo quickly over the line, jump stop, rising fire, got it.
Sometimes if you can beat pressure, you're going to get wide open shots. In Connecticut, they like to pressure, but they've got to be careful. They cannot let a team of shooters like Gonzaga get wide open opportunities.
Freeman, guarded by Calvary, across the lane, jump hook, short, got it back, blocked. Calvary, what an athlete in the pivot for this Gonzaga squad.
Guy who on Midnight Madness jumps over students to demonstrate his dunks. And when Calvary's able to get his feet set on the inside, not only can he jump to a good height, but he also gets up very quickly as Freeman gets the rebound. Calvary times his jump. Gonzaga is not small on the inside. Calvary is 6'8", Eaton is 6'11".
He led the West Coast Conference in block shots last year, tied for second this season. Santangelo really be impressed by Ricky Moore. A lot of dribbling for Santangelo. Down the lane and a 5-second call.
The 5-second violation is in effect when you're dribbling if the defender is within 6 feet of you. Now, if you get your head and shoulders past the defender, the count is off. But Santangelo never able to do that. Moore, one of the country's top defenders.
Here's Ricky Moore, senior from Augusta, Georgia. Starts on the wing, guarded by Santangelo. El-Amin. Good matchup here, El-Amin and Hall. Both very quick. El-Amin up off in the air, loose ball. Hall grabs it in the corner. Gonzaga on the move. All the way open, Eaton, and he had it blocked from behind by Freeman. Freeman shovels it. Elamine, jump stop, and Eaton with the ball.
Gonzaga does not mind running up and down.
Santangelo calling for the high screen, hesitation, to the basket, off the glass, and Ricky Moore comes up with it.
Boy, what a rebound.
Hamilton got the step on the baseline, cut off, fadeaway jump shot, strong. Calvary with the ball.
Speaking of strong, Calvary's rebound was very strong as well. This little guy dribbling the ball is more physical than you might think. He and Elamine are going to have a great matchup today.
He also has feline quickness on defense. Pull-up jump shot, rebounded by Calvary and a new shot clock. Once again, he reloads, and this time Jeremy Eaton buries it. The senior from Benton City, Washington.
He is not a three-point shooter, but he can go out to 18 feet and make the jump shot.
So Gonzaga up 4-2, 16:33 to go here in the first half of play. The winner advancing to the Final Four, a 10 versus a 1.
We've got a mismatch now. Hall is matched up against Hamilton. Let's see if Connecticut realizes and tries to punch it inside.
Eaton hedging out. 4 to shoot. Ricky Moore steps back and got it. Knocked it down with confidence to tie it up at 4.
And that was outstanding defense. Just a tremendous offensive sequence for the Huskies.
Hall with the quick step, and he draws the foul inside.
And they're going to count the basket.
A little continuation there.
We talked about what a great matchup this could be. Elamine against Hall. Hall maybe has a step in quickness, just gets his head and shoulders by Elamine. When Elamine bodies him, the ball goes down. Nice job by Hall to shoot it when he feels the contact.
So Elamine picking up his second foul. And Elamine takes a quick seat. Quentin Hall misses the free throw, and he got the rebound. Step back. Loose ball from diving on the sideline, and he's out of bounds. But look at the hustle already by the Bulldogs. 15 and 52 to go. They're up by a deuce. Under 16 to play in the first half. Gonzaga up by 2. However, the big story, Khalid Elamine already with 2 personal fouls.
And that really could be a significant factor. Albert Mooring has come off the bench. Now, Mooring did score 11 points in the game the other night against Iowa, so he's been a valuable contributor, but Elamine only turned the ball over 1 time against the Iowa pressure, and now you can see with Elamine out of the game, Gonzaga going to try to apply a little pressure.
Ricky Moore. Now Ricky Moore will move to point guard. Mooring will play the 2.
And Gonzaga coming out in a zone, 2-3 zone look.
Freeman flashing to the basket, got it back and up. He is tied up. Possession arrow goes to the defense, and Gonzaga.
Gonzaga is not a bunch of slow three-point shooters. Gonzaga has some very, very good athletes. Eaton and Calvary are really quick and clever on the inside.
Hall and Santangelo bringing the ball up the floor. This kid here, Quentin Hall from the Bahamas, really good with the basketball.
So quick with the basketball. He is going to be a tough defensive matchup in the man-to-man.
Santangelo. Guarded by Moore. Eaton. 10 to shoot. Hall off the dribble again. Got it.
There's that quickness we're talking about. Connecticut might want to think about switching Ricky Moore onto Quentin Hall.
Young fella has the heart of a lion. His dad, Ralph, and mom, Cynthia, back in the Bahamas watching this game. Father plays in a band. Here's Moore and 1.
And Ricky Moore can play inside. Great penetration against the 1-2-2 or 3-2 zone look. Gonzaga trying to match up. You see all the room that Moore has as he penetrates down into the middle and draws the foul. If you're going to play a zone, you cannot allow penetration off the dribble.
Eaton picks up his first foul. Edmund Saunders, a sophomore from Waterbury, Connecticut, number 51 in the game for the Huskies. And Ricky Moore at the free throw line, looking to complete the conventional three-point play, and he does. 14 and 45 to go in the first half. 8-7 Bulldogs.
And with Quentin Hall on the bench to take the rest, Santangelo going to take over the point guard duties.
Calvary baseline pull-up. And it's rebounded by Moore. Ricky Moore quickly into the front court, mooring, and he travels. Now for complete tournament coverage with live scores, stats, and more, check out Tournament Live only on CBS.SportsLine.com or on America Online. Enter keyword CBS Sportsline.
Connecticut pressure, 1-2-2. Going to try to trap the ball.
Do you want to bring this ball up on the sideline?
You'd prefer to stay out of the sideline if you could, but if you can enter that far up the court with the pass, Gus, then that's all right.
Leisure and Floyd on the floor for Gonzaga. Santangelo around the corner, double pump.
Oh, did you see Calvary get up and tip that ball? Wow.
Saunders with the rebound. Moore crosses over, hops inside, and draws the bump.
Just as Quentin Hall's quickness created some problems for UConn trying to defend the perimeter, Ricky Moore's quickness against that zone has now drawn 2 fouls.
So Ricky Moore inbounding on the baseline. And the scoring so far most by Moore, but there's Rip Hamilton around the screen off the inbound play. And Connecticut takes the lead.
Connecticut stays in the man-to-man.
Brown, triple team, then throws it out of bounds.
Richard Hamilton is a guy who moves very well without the basketball, and that movement without the ball can get you open. Good screen out at the top by Saunders. Gonzaga goes to sleep a little bit on defense, and you can't lose Richard Hamilton when you're playing D.
Hamilton, two-time Big East Player of the Year, the only players to do that in the history of the conference, Chris Mullen and Patrick Ewing. So Ricky Moore to Freeman. He's got Mooring, Saunders, and Rip Hamilton stolen away by Floyd. Floyd down the lane. Off the window, strong. Loose ball. Calvary, power dribble, and it's stolen. Mooring, cross court. Hamilton, nice catch, Freeman to the cup, and the bunny is good. 7 unanswered points by the Connecticut Huskies, and they take an 11-8 lead.
You just cannot make any mistakes that are going to result in transition opportunities for Connecticut. They really finished well.
Leisure, and he answers. This kid stepped off the bench on Thursday, hit some big threes for Gonzaga.
And the three has been the Gonzaga answer throughout the entire tournament, and it's going to have to be today as well.
And a whistle at 5.
Kevin Freeman is as hard-nosed and effective an inside player as you want to see. He goes up and gets the ball in traffic. He's used to playing against bigger guys inside. Nice little scoop shot.
Harrison back in the game, or into the game, and Ricky Moore takes a seat, gets a blow. Remember, Khalid El-Amin going out with 15:52 to go in the first half with 2 fouls. And Hamilton stepping on the baseline out of bounds.
Same play that Jim Calhoun's Huskies ran before. The time before Hamilton got a layup. That time he stepped out of bounds.
4 turnovers apiece for Connecticut and Gonzaga. Harrison guarding Santangelo. Santangelo very good with the basketball as well. These guys from Gonzaga, great fundamentals.
Don't want to be dribbling the ball too much, however.
Calvary. Floyd off of a screen. Ball tapped. Boston with the rebound. Hamilton quickly into the front court. Wheels inside. Count it. And the foul.
One of the problems when you shoot a lot of three-point baskets is if you're not going to make them, there's going to be long rebounds. And those long rebounds, all that does is help UConn get started in the fast break. What a great move on the dribble by Hamilton. First the hesitation, then the spin to draw the foul. Gonzaga cannot let UConn get in the transition game. What a marvelous spin move And then Hamilton, he looks thin, but he's got the power to get it up over Calvary.
Calvary with his first foul, and Hamilton already with 6 points. 11:58 to go. We're in the first half, 13-11 UConn. Hamilton, 3 straight years, averaging at least 19 points a game. And he missed the throw. Axel Dench in the game. Where's number 30 for the Bulldogs? So it's Santangelo, Leisure, Nielsen, Dench, and Floyd. Nielsen, stop and start, kicks it out. Leisure to the basket. He's fouled from behind. Saunders got him on the wrist.
It's funny, once you establish the fact that you can shoot that three-point basket, guys got to come out and guard you. And Leisure actually fumbled the ball, or I think he'd have taken a three. Nice job to put it on the deck and draw the foul.
So, Mike Leisure from Spanaway, Washington, he's a senior. At the line, Vosco picked up the foul. First one is good. This young man originally was scheduled to go to the University of Reno, but a coaching change took place. He sat out 1 year, did not go to college, so his eligibility was intact, and he decided to go to Gonzaga. Second one up, and good. 11:39 to go, first half of play. UConn, Gonzaga, tied up at 13. 11:39 to go in the first half. 13 apiece, and a look at the data bank.
Most NCAA tournament appearances without a trip to the Final Four. Well, at the top of the list is UConn. They would certainly like to change that. It's funny what great success they've had at UConn under Jim Calhoun, but if they don't get to the Final Four, a 31-3 season will be considered a disappointment. Tell me how crazy that is.
Harrison and Saunders. Ricky Moore along with Vosco. Roshmel Jones also on the floor for UConn. Saunders, pull-up jump shot, and he buried it.
And somebody's just lost him.
Thought about it, took it, and it counts. Fromm now, guarded by Moore. Over the line.
Here's Harrison now going to try to match up against Hall.
Nielsen, guarded by Roshmel Jones.
This guy'll shoot it.
And he does. Rebounded inside Harrison. Nice rebound, blocking out Hall. In the corner, Jones. Inside, Vosco, jump hook, hard off the window. Tapped around into the hands of Nielsen. Quentin Hall, speed dribble, takes it back from Leisure, one-hand rebound, and a steal.
And that'll result in a fast break.
Harrison, and he's fouled. And Harrison down on the baseline. And he's holding his knee or hamstring.
You just simply cannot turn the ball over to Connecticut in situations that allow them to get down the court. Harrison dribbling the ball in the middle, and you can see the expression on his face as he throws the ball up at the rim. I think it's a hamstring, Gus. Right before he leaves his feet, I think he pulled that hamstring, and Connecticut, with Elamine sitting on the bench with 2 personal fouls, can't afford to lose another guard.
Now, near the conclusion of every NCAA tournament game, we will select a genuine Chevrolet most valuable player of the game from each team. To date, Chevrolet has contributed over $7 million to the scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities. So E.J. Harrison, a senior from Danbury, Connecticut.
They're flexing that thing as if it's a knee, and let's watch that step right there where the knee just goes right out from under it.
And it did buckle a bit. And Harrison gets up, though, and he walks off on his own. So Richard Hamilton comes into the game to shoot free throws.
You are allowed to bring in a guy to shoot the free throw if it's a technical free throw or if you have an injury.
Harrison being tended to. Hamilton, great free throw shooter. First one is good. And Rip Hamilton in the tournament, the first 3 games, he's put on a show. Check out his numbers.
First team All-American, and those are certainly All-American numbers right there.
From Coatesville, Pennsylvania. 7 points and a rebound. Missed the second. Leisure with the board.
Great tip by Fromm.
Gonzaga, 1 of 6 from the three-point line so far. They were 12 of 22 on Thursday against Florida.
Connecticut does a great job defending that three-point line.
Leisure, hops inside, got it back, and he is fouled. Voskuhl.
And that's Voskuhl's second foul.
So Connecticut, a couple of their big guns in foul trouble already. Elamine on the bench with 2, and Voskuhl now draws his second.
If Connecticut is going to defend the 3 effectively, then obviously Gonzaga is going to have to get something inside, and Leisure picks up another one of those long rebounds and draws the foul.
Leisure at the line. And this Gonzaga squad, a very good free throw shooting team. They shoot 72% as a team on the season. Second one good as well.
Gonzaga plays 10 people, and they all contribute, sometimes more, sometimes less, but they've got 10 guys who contribute. 8 of those guys can shoot the three-point basket. Connecticut, in this tournament, Gus, they've held their opponents to under 25% three-point shooting, so it's not going to be easy for Gonzaga.
Jones to the basket.
Oh, what a tip!
Up and in by Saunders. So Edmund Saunders gives Connecticut an 18-15 lead. Under 10 to go. Fromm dumps it down. Eaton wheels on the baseline. Nice looking baby hook.
Really is clever with the ball on the inside.
Jones the other way.
Boxing 1 now going on out there for Gonzaga.
And they're guarding Hamilton.
Nielsen is guarding Hamilton. Everybody else playing zone.
Iowa tried this on Thursday. Jones squares up and knocked it down with confidence.
This is a tough defense to execute against Connecticut because they have so many other offensive weapons.
2017. 9 minutes to go in the first half. Hall crosses over. Calvary down the lane. Got it! We told you this kid's an athlete.
And he's the guy who can put the ball on the deck and go to the basket. And again, UConn really getting out to defend the perimeter. Very intelligent by Gonzaga to go to the basket.
Ricky Moore, Jones, Saunders, Freeman, and Hamilton for UConn. In white. Freeman in the pivot. Jump hook. Off the heel of the rim. And out of bounds. Last touch by the Huskies. Substitutions in the game. Mooring comes in for Connecticut, and Santangelo back for Gonzaga.
One thing that Dan Munson's defense, the Boxing 1, is able to do is slow Connecticut down a little bit. They may not be able to stop them, but at least they're stopping that transition basketball and making them play at a slower, less comfortable pace.
Harrison has a mild knee sprain, and he will be back. Eaton strong to the basket, and a foul on the floor. And it looks as if Gonzaga, Dan, is taking what the defense gives them. It's the inside game right now.
This is a very intelligent basketball team. A real good job to get the ball inside to Eaton, and you can see Eaton's skill as he's able to spin and use both hands on the inside. There they go again.
Eaton gathers himself, and Ricky Moore with the rebound.
Nice defense that time by Saunders.
Mooring wide open, quick release. Tipped up and Hall, the smallest guy on the floor with the rebound. Hall pops out on the wing. Eaton again. Eaton in the pivot.
He walked.
And he walked. 6 turnovers for Gonzaga. 7:34 to go in the first half of play. Huskies up by a point. The game summary here in the first half. Good defense by Connecticut, limiting Gonzaga to 1 of 6 shooting. But Khalid El-Amin, only 4 minutes played, no points. He already has 2 fouls, Dan Bond.
And that has been a big factor in the game. Connecticut needs El-Amin if they're going to compete against a top-notch team like Gonzaga. The other thing is, not only is El-Amin on the bench with 2 fouls, but so is Jake Voskuhl, because Voskuhl's not in the game. Gonzaga has been attempting to punch the ball inside. They haven't been able to exploit the three-point line due to some top-notch Connecticut defense, so they're now trying to go inside.
So Ricky Moore brings it up the floor along with Hamilton, Freeman, Saunders, and Mooring. 3 guards on the court for this Connecticut squad. Mooring playing with the tender right knee.
Hall is now matched up against Hamilton in the box and 1. Isn't that interesting?
Saunders. Hall diving out of bounds, and Connecticut gets it back. Tonight on CBS, meet 2 private eyes who learn from the best. Chuck Norris, from the producers of Walker, Texas Ranger. It's the next generation of justice and all new Sons of Thunder tonight on CBS. 7:06 to go. First half of play. UConn up 2019. New shot clock for the Huskies. Inside, Saunders, jump stop. Rebound, Freeman. And jump ball again. Bulldogs once again getting the ball back. And what do you think about this rule?
I think when the defense can get the help ball, Gus, and it's clear like that, it's a pretty good rule. Saunders not able to make the basket inside. And then Freeman, remember, he's 6'7", Eaton is 6'11", and I think the Gonzaga size actually making a difference.
Santangelo, Fromm, and Hall in the backcourt with Calvary and Eaton for Gonzaga. Here's Eaton. Calvary for 20. And he got the bounce. Gonzaga up 22-20. Mooring lost it. Rebounded by Santangelo. Gonzaga with numbers. Fromm spots up for 3. And Hamilton with the rebound. Little strong.
Gonzaga stays in that box and 1.
Saunders knocked away into the hands of Santangelo.
And Jim Calhoun may have to put El-Amin back into the game just so they can handle this trick defense that's being played by Gonzaga.
Hall got the screen, knocked away. Moore. Quick hands inside both teams. Moore. And a foul on the baseline, but look at Calvary get back into the play. For updated stats and complete tournament coverage, go to CBS.sportsline.com. 3-point field goal shooting. Gonzaga, a team that shoots 39% on the season, 2 of 8, Connecticut 0 for 1.
Keep in mind, however, that Connecticut on defense throughout the entire year has limited opponents to under 30% shooting from beyond the three-point arc, and in the tournament they're even better, under 25%. They can defend out there. Their problem has been the inside.
Ricky Moore, been a starter since his freshman year. Dislocated his shoulder his freshman year in the NCAAs against Colgate. More than enough. But his impact is made mostly on the defensive side.
Certainly he means more to the team than those numbers would indicate.
Santangelo, he has 2 fouls for Gonzaga. Second one good for Moore. 5:53 to go in the first half of play. We're tied at 22. The West Regional Final. The winner moving on to the Final Four. And a whistle and foul away from the basketball.
Foul is going to be against Mooring, trying to defend Nielsen. And Dan Munson, he has got 8 guys who can shoot the 3, and so you've got to guard them all. And that creates those kinds of holding fouls, trying to beat the screen.
For Gonzaga, they have 7 players that shoot 35% or better from the three-point line. Their 8th player shoots 34%. And another quick whistle inside.
That foul is against Freeman. Floyd setting the screen and getting just knocked down.
Andre Patillo, Larry Rose, and Bobby Hunt are the officials.
Get that screen set and you're stationary. The guy can't run you over, and that's exactly what Freeman did. Now they're going to stick Ryan Floyd on the free throw line. He's a 72% free throw shooter.
And with 5 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the first half of play, UConn over the limit with 17 fouls. And Floyd at the line makes the first. Harrington, Washington. Second good as well. Gonzaga up by 2.
Haven't made the threes, but they're now 6 of 7 from the free throw line.
For UConn, their best backcourt player on the bench, Khalid El-Amin. Rebounded inside, Spink just checked in, off the bench. Gonzaga with a chance to add to their lead. Lobbed inside, Calvary, and the foul! Casey Calvary, the hero on Thursday when he tipped in a missed shot by Hall.
Perfect execution on the lob pass inside. Any lower the defense has it, any higher he can't catch it. What great hands, and then getting it into the basket. This is just a great job to catch it, get stopped, go underneath the basket for the score.
So Calvary at the free throw line. He's from Tacoma. Missed the free throw. Freeman with the rebound.
Jake Bosco with those 2 personal fouls has to come back in the game because Gonzaga really starting to dominate the inside play.
Do you even let El-Amin come back into the game at this point?
Obviously not. And I think that's a pretty good decision because if he's out there, he's got to be battling Hall, and Hall's just too quick.
Rip Hamilton. And with El-Amin on the bench, Hamilton really has to step up on the offensive side. 26-24. Hamilton with 8 points. Make it 9. Hall guarded by Moore. Bodies flying around. Spink wide open. Floyd with the rebound and a new shot clock.
Connecticut stays in the man-to-man. Spink is the one guy on the team who can't shoot it from out there.
Quentin Hall. Jab step. Calvary faces. Got it back. Bump. Block. Bosco. Nice play.
Dangerous play by Bosco. He's got those 2 fouls.
Hamilton around the back, and he turns it over. Here's Hall. On the move. Quentin Hall. Forced it up. Tapped out, and Floyd with it. Crowd wanted a foul.
Gonzaga really doing a nice job playing quickly when the opportunity presents, but slowing it down on the other occasions. And now Dan Munson wants a 20-second timeout.
3:48 to go in the first half. Gonzaga a 10, leading a 1, 26-24. Now tonight on CBS, she's not just another pretty face. When Kelly Hugh walks the beat, law enforcement is a beautiful thing. An all-new martial law starring Sammo Hung and Arsenio Hall tonight on CBS.
Guys who move are awfully difficult to guard. Quentin Hall, even in this diamond or box and one, runs Hall right into the pick by Bosco and is able to score. Bosco, however, has those 2 fouls. He's got to be careful. You don't want to pick up a foul on the offensive end.
Now these 2 teams have 2 common opponents, both beating Stanford and Washington. Connecticut beat Stanford 82-74 and Washington 82-71. Here's Floyd. Bounce pass inside, and a foul from behind on Ricky Moore.
Once again, the Connecticut desire to stop the 3-point shot. Penetration, 3 guys around the dribbler. Hall just cuts to the basket. Moore loses track of him.
So Quentin Hall, a junior college transfer, the Grand Bahamas, makes the first free throw. Came off the bench last year, but now really is a leader for this team in the backcourt, especially handling pressure. Missed the second one. Bosco with the board. 3:34 to go first half, 27-24. Bulldogs on top of the Huskies. And a whistle and foul. A lot of bumping and grinding.
Hall's going to pick up the foul. The bumping and grinding, I think Hall can get away with, but when he reaches and grabs Richard Hamilton, the officials are going to call that. Hall down, number 11. You can see he wraps his arm around Hamilton, pushes him out of bounds, and that's what the official calls. Not much of a foul there, but what you have to understand, the official is behind Hamilton, and he sees Hall's hands come around the back of Richard Hamilton. That looks like a hold. That's what he calls.
So 18 fouls against Gonzaga. Rip Hamilton at the line, shooting 1 and 1. 9 points and a rebound. And he missed the front end, but got the rebound. Oh, knocked out of bounds by Floyd. 3:24 to go, first half of play. 27-24, Gonzaga. Zags up 27-24. The tournament summary, 3 number 1 seeds remain in the Elite 8. Michigan State, Duke, and Connecticut. And the Big Ten with a good record, the Big East as well.
Big Ten, Michigan State going to match up against Kentucky tomorrow. That ought to be a great game. Wayne Turner looking to become the first non-Duke player to play in 4 Final Fours.
Connecticut with the basketball. Ricky Moore. Harrison back into the game. Cut off.
Guarding Hamilton in that diamond and 1 defense.
And Damon fouled inside.
Penetration is really dangerous against this kind of a defense because the help responsibilities aren't well defined against the guy who is not the primary guy you're trying to guard, and Freeman does a nice job getting to the basket.
So Spinks picks up his first foul.
You play that kind of a defense, a diamond and 1, so you can stop the one guy. In this case, Richard Hamilton. Somebody else is going to take it to the basket. He's hard to defend.
And Freeman missing the free throw. He's a 70% free throw shooter. His last game against Iowa, 10 points and 6 rebounds. He was the most outstanding player in the Big East tournament in New York.
He has a guy who has shown the ability to step up when Elamine and Hamilton aren't able to.
Got the second. 3:06 to go. Gonzaga up by 2.
And you just get the idea that with Elamine only playing 4 minutes in this first half, that it's an opportunity that Gonzaga really should take advantage of. They need to have a pretty good lead at halftime.
Floyd curling around the screen, and he's fouled inside. And all of a sudden, this Gonzaga team, they're not really looking for the 3-point shots as much. They are really driving the ball strong to the basket or getting it in the low post.
Taking what the defense is giving them.
Coming up on Pennzoil at the half, Greg Gumbel, Mark Kellogg, and Rick Majerus will update you on all the tournament news, and we'll have a report from the South Regional Final. All coming up on Pennzoil at the half. First free throw is good for Floyd. And the foul was called against Harrison. Second one good as well. Now Mooring back into the game. Harrison takes a seat. So Ricky Moore along with Saunders, Freeman, Mooring, and Rip Hamilton on the court for Connecticut.
There's the diamond and 1 defense. 4 guys playing zone. 1 guy, Hall, playing man-to-man against Hamilton. Ooh, dangerous pass.
8 to shoot. Moore crosses over and foul. So how do you beat, once again, these kinds of trick defenses? We saw Rick Majerus last year, who's in the studio for CBS, against Arizona. His Utah team ran a triangle and 2 as they gave Bibby and Simon problems. How do you go against this kind of defense?
First thing you'd like to do if you're Connecticut is get in transition and beat the defense down the court. If they can't set the defense, then they can't play it against you. The second thing, I think it's a real good idea to penetrate off the dribble. That's what Moore did, and he's now at the free throw line where he makes the first.
What about the guy that's being guarded?
The guy that's being guarded has to continue to work very hard, and that's what Hamilton is doing. The thing that this defense has done is it has slowed Connecticut down. Gonzaga has stopped shooting the long threes. There's no long rebounds to be had. They're taking the ball to the basket. No fast break opportunities for Connecticut, and that's made it a half-court game.
Second free throw good for Ricky Moore, 29-27. 2:20 to go in the first half. Hall, Calvary, Floyd, along with Fromm and Eaton for the Bulldogs. Fromm, quiet in the first half. He was quiet on Thursday, only had 3 points, ended with 17. Hall pops out. Hall down the lane, tries to feed Eaton, right out of bounds. Good thought. Eaton not ready, though, for the pass. 8 turnovers for Gonzaga.
Nice defensive adjustment, though, by Connecticut. They really collapsed on the ball and defended the passing lane.
Inside, Saunders, nice play, high off the bank.
Great ball movement. That's another way you can beat that defense.
Saunders with 6 points. Tied at 29. Connecticut fans right behind their bench trying to get into it. Hall, short. Freeman with the ball. Here's Moore. Connecticut in transition. Harrison, short arms the layup. Loose ball. Fromm picks it up and gets it to Hall. Hall behind the back. Fromm wide open. Bullseye. A wild sequence. And Gonzaga takes a 32-29 lead.
Figure they practiced that outlet pass from your knees.
Only their third three-pointer of the game. Under 50 seconds. Hamilton. And a foul on the floor.
And that's 2 fouls against Quinton Hall. Boy, you have to admire the way Hamilton has handled himself in this situation. He simply has not stopped working. He's moving without the ball. And when he's not forcing anything, though, when he gets the opportunity, he takes advantage. He hasn't shot free throws very well today.
Richard Hamilton, 1 of 4 from the free throw line. He's an 84% free throw shooter on the season. And the first is good. There's Richard Hamilton's father, who nicknamed him when he was a baby, Rip.
Nickname of Richard Hamilton's father is also Rip. That's where it came from.
Second one is good. 32-31. Gonzaga leading UConn. 37 seconds to go here in the first half of play. Fromm dribbles it off of his foot. Pull up from deep. Saunders snatches it down.
And for all the adversity they've had, as Jim Calhoun calls a 20-second timeout, with Elamine not being able to play very much with the fouls, Connecticut has a chance to lead at halftime.
Now Monday on CBS, here's some March Madness that'll leave you laughing. Catch the show that critics are calling sitcom royalty. Kevin James and Jerry Stiller star in The King of Queens Monday on CBS. Khalid Elamine, he's only played 4 minutes, picked up 2 quick fouls, and has sat on the bench for most of the first half, now getting ready to come in.
I think Jim Calhoun realizes how important it is, maybe just from a psychological factor, that with as well as Gonzaga has played, as much as Connecticut has struggled, that it would be good to have the lead at halftime. Elamine's really got to be careful that he does not pick up an offensive foul.
Shot clock turned off. Connecticut playing for 1 shot. And Bobby Hunt calling the officials together.
Connecticut has saying, look, just because you guys stopped the game to get things together, we should have that time back on the clock.
9 seconds to go. Ricky Moore back out to Hamilton. And that's the end of the first half of play. What a game so far. Gonzaga, Dan Munson is slowing things down, and they lead by 1. And right now, Jim Calhoun is on the floor talking to the officials. He's talking to Andre Patillo. Now let's go to Barry Booker.
Coach, did you plan to attack El Amin and try to get the foul trouble?
No, we were fortunate there, but it allowed us to go boxing one a little bit to disrupt them on Hamilton. My concern is we got to get our shooters open and run better offense in the second half. Their defense really dictated our offense.
Thanks, Coach. Gus?
All right, Barry, that's the end of the first half of play with the score. Gonzaga on top of Connecticut by 1. CBS Sports' exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
CBS Sports' exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Conseco, Propecia, Pepsi One, and by Nike. CBS Sports' exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Pontiac Grand Prix, Xerox, Pizza Hut, and by United Airlines.
Halftime here in Phoenix with Gonzaga leading Connecticut 32-31. Now let's go to Barry Booker.
Coach Calhoun, what did you tell your team at half? We get Khalid back in the game, number 1. Those 2 fouls for us, get Jake, and just do a little better job of making better decisions offensively and tighten up a little bit on deep. We've done a good job stopping threes, but they've got some cute little curl cuts down the middle.
Gus Johnson along with Dan Bonner. An interesting note for Connecticut. All season long, they've been used to playing close games.
That's right, Gus. This isn't anything new for Connecticut. The first time that they were really in trouble was at Pittsburgh earlier this season, and they responded very well.
As recent as Seton Hall in the Big East tournament, where they had to hold on to win, and a look at the halftime statistics.
The most important thing in the statistics is the fact that UConn really struggled offensively over the last 9-10 of the first half, and the reason for that is that El Amin simply wasn't in the game. He only played 4 minutes in the first half. Richard Hamilton with 11 points, only 6 field goal attempts due to the box and 1 defense, and El Amin only 4 minutes played.
So a good percentage for Hamilton, but you're saying he needs to shoot the ball more.
And it's going to be tough to do if they play that trick defense. They were able to play the trick defense because El Amin was out of the game.
Ricky Moore, Freeman, Hamilton, Bosco. Here's Freeman, strong to the basket, and in.
And back to the man-to-man with El Amin back in the game, and right away, UConn goes back on top.
Up by 1, El Amin guarding Paul. D'Angelo popping out, calling for the ball, and the ball knocked out of bounds, thrown out by Gonzaga. And the call has been reversed. Andre Patillo, the baseline official, is right there, and Gonzaga holds on.
Connecticut is not the only team with foul trouble. Santangelo has 2 fouls for Gonzaga, and so does Quinton Hall.
So Quinton Hall, guarded by El Amin.
And that was a tough matchup in the first half for El Amin. Hall just too quick for him. Man-to-man defense by Connecticut.
5 to shoot.
I don't think Santangelo knows.
Takes the jumper anyway, and it's rebounded by Freeman. Hamilton quickly into the front court. Kicks it out more. Right there! And a whistle.
Foul's going to be called against Eaton on the inside. Second foul now on Jeremy Eaton. When UConn can get out and run, they can put great pressure on the opposition's defense. Eaton had a pretty good first half. They were able to go inside to him on the offensive end.
Neither team shooting the ball well in the first half of play. Baseline jump shot, no good. Calvary with the rebound. Connecticut 37%. Gonzaga 33%, and a whistle and a foul on the baseline, and that may be Elamine. They're going to call Voskuhl instead.
That was a no-win situation right there for Connecticut. Gonzaga is a team that likes to get out and run. They haven't attempted too many fast breaks today. Fromm just leans in past Voskuhl, who gets him with the body going by. If you're Jake Voskuhl, you just have to step away from that particular play.
Now Voskuhl with 3 fouls. Richie Fromm has 4 points, 3 in the first half of play. Remember, he had 3 on Thursday in the first half and ended with 17 on his way to hitting 5 3-point field goals.
And Voskuhl shaking his head as he goes out of the game. Let's see if Gonzaga in this half does the same thing they did in the first half, try to attack Saunders on the inside.
Bulldogs taking the lead, 34-33. Elamine, Saunders, Ricky Moore, Freeman, and Rip Hamilton on the court for the Huskies. Saunders popping out, thought about it, passes up on it.
Freeman wants the ball inside.
Freeman faces, wheels, lefty, no good. Hall saves it from going out of bounds. Great hustle play into the front court. Eaton off the glass and in.
What a tremendous pass by Santangelo.
36-33 Gonzaga.
Double team coming against Hamilton. Man-to-man defense. They're really trying to bump Hamilton every time he comes off the screen.
Hamilton in the corner, cut off nicely by Eaton. 7 to shoot. Hamilton, the runner is good. Really quick off the dribble, and he throws Eaton. Hall, stop and start to the bucket, and he travels. 17:45 to go, second half of play. Gonzaga with a 36-35 advantage. 9 turnovers for the Bulldogs.
And Gonzaga has not had any answer for Hamilton.
He's got 13. Elamine, blocked by Eaton. Ball squirts out. Hall. And he backs it out. Santangelo.
Well, he thought about it.
Eaton, drop step, baby up, rattle down.
Eaton playing with a great deal of confidence inside against Saunders.
He's got 8. 38-35. Hamilton again, take it over. That's what he has to do.
And they simply cannot stop him. Fromm does not have the ability to guard Richard Hamilton. Of course, there aren't very many guys in this country who do.
38-37. Inside Eaton. Santangelo really guarded tightly by Ricky Moore. Fromm. Here's Hall to the hole. Eaton. And a whistle and foul down low.
Gonzaga throughout the game has done a great job attacking on the inside. Hall penetrates the basket. The defense comes. He draws 2 guys to him and then finds Eaton. Eaton a little slow getting into offensive position, or he might have been able to score the basket.
Dan Munson, the head coach for this Gonzaga team, trying to advance to the Final Four. His father, Don, was a coach at Idaho and Oregon, and in '82, his Vandals of Idaho advanced to the Sweet 16. He's gone a step further than Dad. He can talk a little trash to Dad now.
His dad, a very interesting gentleman, and one thing that Dan Munson told us was that he could consult his dad about going to the Sweet 16, but since his dad never went to the Elite 8, he can't help him anymore.
And the Bulldogs with the ball again, 39-37, Santangelo. Rebound, and Calvary! What a ball! Timeout UConn! A 20.
Santangelo takes the long jump shot, and because they're out there trying to defend the jump shot, nobody's blocking out inside. Nielsen, who just came in the ball game for defensive reasons, gets the rebound and keeps it alive for Calvary, who once again shows us that you've got to keep him off the board.
9 points for Casey Calvary. He also has 7 rebounds in 20 minutes of work.
Calvary with 9, Eaton with 9. The Bulldogs, they've got the reputation of being a three-point shooting squad, but they're getting it done on the inside.
And already, if you look into the eyes of the Huskies, you see a little panic starting to set up. Moore. Elamine, he's got to get his offense going.
Gonzaga playing straight zone right now.
Ricky Moore, Elamine for 3. Loose ball, Freeman with the rebound. And a new shot clock for the Huskies.
5 rebounds now for Freeman.
Elamine again. Missed again. Bosco, nice rebound. Rejected by Calvary. Quentin Hall to the cup. And Moore with the board. Now Connecticut running. Bounce pass, Hamilton. Easy layup. They can really fill the lanes and take it strong to the goal. Santangelo the other way. But this Calvary really playing a great game for Gonzaga. Santangelo off the dribble. Double clutch. Elamine with the rebound.
Don't want to start playing too quickly, Gus. You want to take the opportunity break, but Gonzaga does not want to get into an up-and-down affair with Connecticut.
Moore knocked away out of bounds. Latched up by the Bulldogs. 15:09 to go in the second half. Gonzaga up 41-39. Gonzaga up 41-39. And they're trying to become the first number 10 to advance to the Final Four. LSU, the lowest seed ever, a number 11. We'll take a look at some Final Four Cinderellas. And for this Gonzaga squad, they're trying to become the first West Coast Conference team to advance to the Final Four. Their last Elite Eight team, 1990, Hank Gathers and Loyola Marymount. Richard Hamilton, one dribble, 15-footer, short, and a whistle and foul down low against Freeman.
And Freeman has really been doing a great job. He's got 5 points, but 10 rebounds. Now that's 2 personal fouls, on Freeman. 6 of Freeman's 10 rebounds are offensive rebounds, so Gonzaga going to have to try to find a way to keep him off the board.
And he's really been battling Calvary the entire game. Floyd, Nielsen, Santangelo, Calvary, and Dench on the floor. Cross court to Dench, the Australian. Picks up his dribble, back door, stolen by Freeman. Hamilton, and he's bumped by Nielsen, bringing it up.
Nielsen with his second personal foul, and Nielsen is in the game for Fromm. Fromm, the very dangerous three-point shooter, but Fromm couldn't handle Richard Hamilton on the defensive end, so Fromm's on the bench and Nielsen is in the game.
Hamilton, quick fire, and hits.
That's 2 baskets that he has scored in this game right off inbounds plays underneath.
The All-America taking over with 19 points, under 15 to go. Dench, Santangelo, and Elamine with the rebound. Tied at 41.
And a long 3 results in Connecticut moving the ball quickly into scoring position.
Hamilton again. Calvary with his 8th board. Dench, drop step, off the glass and in. Nice move.
Really effective move against Bosco on the inside. Bosco's got those 3 fouls, so somebody from Connecticut is going to have to drop down inside and help him. But that's dangerous because Gonzaga can shoot the 3.
First basket of the game for Axel Dench from Melbourne. Elamine down low, heels it off. 2-hand jam, Bosco.
Zone defense for Gonzaga has not been very effective the last couple of trips down the court.
Game tied at 43. Backdoor, Dench. Oh, nice play. Nielsen to Dench, and he didn't bring it down, Danny.
He already caught it, Gus. Almost just tipped it up into the basket. Now they've got to get it down on the defensive end. Last couple of baskets just too easy for UConn.
Elamine leans in, batted around, into the hands of Freeman. Over the backboard is the call, and Gonzaga gets it back.
Got to recognize the guys inside. Dench is going to cut to the basket. Voskuhl tries to help on the screen. Never sees Dench, but Nielsen does.
So Fromm checks back in. Floyd goes out. Leisure also in the game for Gonzaga. Santangelo, Leisure, along with Dench, Nielsen, and Fromm. Here's Fromm, guarded by Hamilton. Santangelo, short. Lead pass, Elamine, running straight to the hole, and he's fouled.
How many times have we seen today when Gonzaga misses one of those three-point shots and it's a long rebound that Connecticut turns it around and gets down to the other end of the court? Khalid Elamine, very effective in the transition game, is able to draw the foul. That's one area where Gonzaga really has had a tough time getting back on defense after those missed three-pointers.
Khalid Elamine, first free throw is good. He only played 4 minutes in the first half of play. Picked up 2 quick fouls guarding Quentin Hall, and that's his first point of the game. Young man from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Originally was scheduled to go to the University of Minnesota, orally committed to Clem Haskell and the Gophers, but then changed his mind. Second one no good. Nielsen with the rebound.
Gonzaga only 3 of 15 from beyond the three-point arc today. Man-to-man for Connecticut.
Santangelo picks it back out from. And a foul over the back on Dennis. Now the Academic All-Stars recognize one player on each team for academic excellence. For today's game, the All-Stars are for Gonzaga, Richie Fromm, a sociology major, and Kevin Freeman for Connecticut, a poli-sci major. Three-point shooting, Bulldogs 3 of 16, Connecticut 0 for 5. And UConn shoots 34% from the arc on the season. Roshmel Jones in the game, along with Freeman, Moore, Elamine, and Saunders.
Gonzaga trying to match up out of the zone.
Up by a point, the Bulldogs. Elamine on the sideline, 8 to shoot from deep. Rebounded by Jones.
Just jumped over Santangelo to get that one.
Elamine backs it out, says let's do it again.
Plenty of time on the shot clock.
Moore, crossover dribble. Knocked away by Dent. Got a hand in the passing lane. And here comes Santangelo to Dent. Dent steps out of bounds. 11 turnovers for Gonzaga. 11:20 to go. 45-44.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Miller Lite, Discover Brokerage, Hearst, and by Microsoft.
And welcome back in the game summary. Neither team shooting the ball well from the three-point line, but Santangelo and Elamine, 2 key players, not having good offensive games so far.
Gus, that's really right. Santangelo really, in particular, the last couple of minutes has tried to force some things, and Gonzaga simply cannot force it against Connecticut because Connecticut has shown the ability to turn mistakes into easy baskets.
45-44 Gonzaga. Bulldogs showing a little pressure here. Three-quarter court.
They drop back into the matchup zone.
Elamine spins, cut off. 11 to shoot inside. Freeman frees himself, bucket, and the foul. And that's what Elamine can do. find opportunities for his teammates.
With Elamine in the basketball game, his ability to handle the ball really stretches the defense. You're trying to find Elamine, you're trying to find Hamilton. That leaves Freeman open, and he does a great job. Freeman battling on the inside. The defense comes to Elamine, and as a result, Freeman is all alone.
Now UConn leading the battle for the points in the paint. As Freeman missed it, 30-20. They are leading inside. Leisure, quick three. Now Elamine.
Again, the matchup zone for Gonzaga. Jones, got to keep an eye on Freeman if you're Gonzaga. He really has shown the ability
7 to shoot. Elamine for 3. Jones backside, and it's knocked out of bounds. And UConn holds on. Now Sunday on 60 Minutes, even though a jury said the mother wasn't guilty of murder, the Child Welfare Agency said she was. What's that all about? 60 Minutes on Sunday.
Now, among the people asking what's that all about is Jim Calhoun. Khalid Elamine now 0 for 9 from the field. Jake Voskuhl back in the game.
So on the court for Connecticut, Rochmel Jones inbounding along with Elamine, Saunders, Voskuhl, and Hamilton. Hamilton with 19 points for Connecticut. Huskies lead by 1. Ball knocked away by Denson out of bounds.
Gonzaga has done a nice job throughout the game, staying in the game and for the most part leading the game without making three-point baskets. But Dan Munson's troops are going to have to make some threes down the stretch if they expect to pull this one out.
They're 3 of 17. Elamine poked away from behind into the hands of Hall. Dent, nice look from, and he missed the chipping. Dent got it back though. From steps out, throw three-pointer, and it rattled out. Voskuhl with the rebound, he's fouled.
That was a wide open look from 3 for Richie Fromm. Great block out by Voskuhl, and he picks up the foul. Excuse me, Nielsen picks up the foul. Nielsen just in the wrong place at the wrong time. He and Voskuhl get locked up. Voskuhl, just the bigger, more powerful guy, draws the foul.
Crowd not happy with the call. A lot of fans rooting for the underdog here. Gonzaga, a number 10 against Connecticut, a number 1.
And the Bulldogs stay with the zone defense.
Here's Elamine in the corner. Won't stay down. Voskuhl really working hard inside. Good job by Voskuhl. Now he posts up and calls for the rock.
Sometimes you get in those zones, it's hard to rebound, and there Hall picks up the foul.
That's his 3rd. And it's the 17th foul against Gonzaga.
And you can sense some frustration on the part of the Bulldogs. Elamine getting by Hall. Hall not very much contact there. Hall wants to know why. Elamine with that powerful body really can use that strength against a smaller, quicker man out on the perimeter.
Asked him if he ever played any football growing up in Minnesota. He said a little bit, but basketball was always my game. He's 0 for 10 from the field, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, and the first one is good. And now you're starting to see Elamine play with a little more emotion, and that's his game, and this entire Connecticut team, they feed off of that emotion.
Voskuhl coming back in the game has done a pretty good job both defensively and on the offensive boards in this second half. So you can see how much Connecticut needs those two guys to be in the game.
Second free throw good. 8 and 58 to go in the second half. And look at the field goals this half. Gonzaga, no field goals in the last 4:17.
And they have had some open looks at the basket. They missed a wide open 3, and Fromm also missed a layup.
Hall Guarded by Elamine. Pull-up jumper right in his face. Off the front rim. Bosco with the rebound.
And Bosco has really come up big on the board.
Ricky Moore. Stop and start. Count it!
The zone defense for Gonzaga has been able to get out and stop Richard Hamilton, but the dribble penetration has really been a problem. The basket and the foul, and you can just feel the Connecticut bench think that they're finally starting to take over this game.
Ricky Moore did a great job when Elamine was on the bench. Gets the free throw. UConn on an 8-0 run. They have their largest lead of the game. And a timeout called by the Zags. And Papa Munson getting a little anxious in the stands. Now tonight on CBS, it's an all-new night of action beginning with early edition. Then, Sammo Hung and Arsenio Hall investigate a gang of mobsters in an all-new martial law with guest star Marla Gibbs. And from the producers of Walker, Texas Ranger, Saturday night's newest drama, Sons of Thunder, America's Night of Heroes, is right here on CBS.
The problem for Dan Munson and his Gonzaga Bulldogs has not been their defense. They are playing very well on the defensive end, but against a team like Connecticut, you simply cannot come down possession after possession and fail to score.
They are 3 for 19 from the three-point line. This young man, Santangelo, is 0 for 4. Inside, Calvary fouled on the baseline, and that's number 4 on Voskuhl with 8:14 to go in the second half.
This has really been an offensive struggle for each of the teams. Connecticut only shooting 38% from the field, and Voskuhl again having problems trying to guard Calvary inside. Calvary just goes to the basket and just jumps up over Voskuhl. A good pass draws the foul.
14 fouls against UConn, 8 against Gonzaga. Quentin Hall, Santangelo.
Oh, Rob almost threw it away.
And Ricky Moore is all over Santangelo, like a turtleneck sweater. Look at him, everywhere he goes. Here's Fromm down the lane, and the finger roll. Big job.
Big basket, and a good job again to take what the defense gives you. Be patient in your half-court offense. Take the 2.
Freeman changed his shot and tipped it in.
His 7th offensive rebound.
He's got 11 boards altogether. They'll go along with 9 points. 53-47.
Pressure's on Gonzaga now. They've got to get baskets.
Here's Hall, and he hit it. He heard you. That's a 3. Only their 4th of the game, and he has 8 points. 3-point lead for UConn.
Haven't heard from Hamilton offensively in a while.
Saunders short. Oh, what a
Hit by Freeman.
Hamilton, and Eaton with the board. Quentin Hall across the lane. Hall off the dribble. Got it, and the foul. And the kid from the Bahamas, tell you what, he came to play.
A ferocious competitor, feels it slipping away for his team. Made a 3 the last time and just explodes past Hamilton. Switches hands, goes with the left.
Added the free throw, and once again we're tied. 6:45 to go. March Madness, folks, here in Phoenix. And the game reset. 6:45 to go. 18 fouls against Gonzaga, 5 against UConn. And there is Dan Munson.
What a great job, his team coming back from that 6-point deficit. Just when you thought Connecticut was going to seize control of this game, Quinton Hall steps up, hits the three-point basket from beyond the arc, and then gets a three the old-fashioned way.
Elamine and Moore in the backcourt, along with Hamilton, Saunders, and Freeman for UConn. Gonzaga getting back into the zone.
The 1-2-2 matchup zone.
.13 on the shot clock. Hamilton flashing across the lane. Quick fire, and he hit it.
And that was over the 6'11" Eaton. Said we hadn't heard from Hamilton in a while. Well, we just did.
He's got 21 now. Crom down the lane, dumps it off. Eaton, he's fouled.
Hamilton has been quiet, but against the zone defense, just does a nice job coming from behind the zone, gets in front of Eaton, and what a quick job to stop, turn, and jump for the shot. Crom, who's been cut off from three-point range, drives to the basket, draws the defense. A good, strong play by Eaton, draws the foul. Now, the pressure on Eaton at the free throw line.
So Jeremy Eaton, a 70% free throw shooter. And the first is good. The CBS Sports Line stat of the game. 3-point shooting. 4 of 20 for the Zags, 0 for 8 for UConn. And the Zags 14 of 18 from the free throw line. Second one good as well. And we're knotted up at 55. 5 and 56 to go in the second half. The winner advancing to the Final Four.
I mean, real quick with the basketball. Now that zone defense has some open areas in the middle. Hamilton had success flashing into the middle area the last time. Expect to see that again.
Elamine. 0 for 11. Freeman. And a foul from behind. 12 rebounds for Freeman.
And 8 of those 12 rebounds on the offensive board. When you play that widely spread zone, it's awfully hard to find your blockout responsibilities, and Freeman just gets himself underneath. Nobody blocks him out, and he draws the foul.
Eaton picks up foul number 3. So Kevin Freeman. And he hits the first. 19 fouls against Gonzaga. 1-and-1 situation for the Huskies. One more foul against Gonzaga, and UConn will shoot 2. And Freeman sticks a pair. 57-55. Santangelo, who's really struggled with his shooting. He only has 2 points with the basketball. Body's falling down in the lane. Ball inside Eaton. Eaton.
That's a tough shot. Very, very difficult shot. Nice job by Moore to get down and bother that shot.
5 minutes.
A Connecticut basket here can really tighten the pressure, can really increase the pressure on Gonzaga.
Hamilton, he's been the go-to guy. Hamilton, short, Freeman. Saunders! Yes! And Connecticut taking over Danny, the offensive glass.
It's Kevin Freeman taking over the offensive board. They just can't keep him away.
And look at the rebound. Santangelo, the Hall, spins inside.
Very, very difficult shot attempt. Gonzaga getting a little bit too quick right there with the offense.
Elamine, 59-55 UConn. 4 minutes to go.
Connecticut going to take its time.
Ricky Moore. Freeman again. Into the hands of Hall. Took it away from Hamilton. Hall across the lane, and the lefty layup is good. That kid is lightning quick. 59-57. We've got a timeout coming up on the next whistle.
All the players out there breathing a little hard. Saunders and Eaton battling down on the inside. That's the guy you got to find.
Inside, Saunders. Reverse layup, he's fouled.
Hall has demonstrated that he is not afraid to take the big shot. He gets El Amin down on the floor with that move. That's what you call a great crossover, when you knock the opponent down without even touching him.
So Edmund Saunders, who shoots 64% at the free throw line, 8.7 rebounds, very solid game for the sophomore. And the first rattles in and out. Whoa.
Early in the week, they asked Jim Calhoun what had he learned from being in the Elite Eights and how do you get to the Final Fours, and one of the things he said was to make your free throws down the stretch.
Second one, no good as well. Eaton with the rebound. Connecticut, 15 of 23 from the free throw line. Approaching the 3-minute mark. And Coach Munson wants a timeout. It's a 20. Now don't forget, coming up next, it's Ohio State and St. John's in Knoxville, Tennessee. And that game has a lot of Big East players playing in that game.
Big East players, ex-Big East players,
exactly.
Ex-Big East coaches, Scooney Penn, and of course Jim O'Brien at Boston College before they were at Ohio State. And that's a very interesting matchup. There are two teams in this tournament that have sort of played very well throughout the tournament, maybe a little bit unexpectedly playing very well, St. John's and Ohio State, and they get to go at one another today.
59-57, UConn leading Gonzaga, and you just wonder when Santangelo is going to hit a big shot. He only has 2 points, but he has been a money player for him the entire season. Fromm, rise and fire, short, rebounded by El Amin.
That was excellent defense. Connecticut has struggled with its shooting. Gonzaga's played pretty good defense as well, but Connecticut, if they come out with the win, it's going to be based on their defensive effort. Outstanding.
Moore, guarded by Fromm. 12 on the shot clock for UConn. Here's a high pick and roll. El Amin changed his shot. And it's tipped up and in by Bosco.
Eaton just not quick enough with the rebound.
61-57.
Connecticut doing a great job keeping the pressure on with their offense.
And a foul up top.
Gonzaga, which won a big game the other night on an offensive follow. El Amin goes to the board. Eaton turns around but simply can't get his hands up and grab the ball. Bosco jumps over him and tips it in.
Bosco with 4 points and 9 rebounds in 17 minutes. He's playing with 4 fouls. And Hall is at the free throw line, where he's 2 of 4. First one good.
When Gonzaga beat Stanford earlier in the tournament, they did it with a tremendous effort, including really doing a great job on the boards. Connecticut has owned the backboards today.
Second one good as well. 1:59 to go here in the second half of play. UConn up 61-59. The game reset. Each team with 2 full timeouts. Connecticut also has a 20. 10 team fouls against Gonzaga and 7 against UConn. So 1 minute and 59 seconds remaining. UConn up 61-59. The Huskies trying to advance to their first Final Four, and they've been close oh so many times here in the 90s. 3 times, as a matter of fact. So Voskuil's on the floor along with Elamine, Moore, Hamilton, and Freeman for the Huskies. Here's the three-quarter court trap.
And who's going to make the plays down the stretch?
And Elamine lost it out of bounds.
You'd have to classify that as an unforced error, not a great deal of pressure on the ball, and Elamine just loses it. It's like he took his eyes off the ball, looking to pass it before he caught it.
Crunch time here in Phoenix.
And I think if you're UConn, you still have to defend the three.
Santangelo with only 2 points. Here he is, off the dribble, and he's fouled. 1-and-1 shooting situation for Santangelo. 8-team foul against UConn.
The Gonzaga offense really runs a lot of screens. Elamine falls down, so Santangelo sees the advantage. Freeman actually does a nice job to push him out.
Santangelo missed it, out of bounds, and last touch by the Bulldogs. So Santangelo, a 78% free throw shooter, had a chance to tie it up, and he misses the opportunity.
1 for 8 from the field, Santangelo. Now 0 for 1 from the line. Gonzaga's going to have to get a stop on defense.
Out of time to go in this one. 120 and counting. 20 on the shot clock. Elamine holding.
Matchup zone continues for Gonzaga.
Let's see if Hamilton looks to take over. Remember, Elamine is 0 for 12. Here's Rip Hamilton down low. Bosco lays it in. Under a minute to go.
Great play by Hamilton, created the opportunity for Bosco.
63-59. Hall, pump fake off of his foot. 47 seconds. Here's Hall. Santangelo, back out, Hall. Let it go. Holy mackerel. It's a 3. 63-62 with 35 and 9/10 to go. What a play by the kid from the Bahamas.
And a desperation play goes.
And look at it again. Back to Phoenix after this.
UConn by 1, and for Gonzaga, desperate times require desperate measures. Pretty good defense, and Hall just throws it up and knocks it down for 3.
So let's talk strategy here with 35.9 to go.
35.9 to go. I think if you're UConn, you try to run the clock down as far as you can run it down before you shoot. Even if the shot clock runs out on you, 0.9 seconds is not very much to get anything accomplished. If you're Gonzaga, you try to get the steal, and I think you foul.
And the quick foul as Quentin Hall fouls Elamine. Now Hall with 4 fouls. And Elamine has struggled with his shooting. 0 for 12 from the field, but he is 3 of 4 from the free throw line. This afternoon, Khalid Elamine has been the money player for this UConn squad the entire season.
Just that quick foul right there gives Gonzaga the opportunity. Remember, they've got 3-point shooters. Even if he makes this, they're still within 1 basket of tying the game.
Elamine, though, needs the pair with that in mind. And he hit the first.
Even though he has struggled so mightily from the field, I think if I'm Jim Calhoun, I am extremely comfortable having Elamine on the free throw line in this situation. Although Jim Calhoun doesn't look very comfortable right now.
Second one, and he gets a good roll. Timeout, Connecticut. With 34.4 remaining And the Huskies up 65-62. So if you're Gonzaga, do you go for 3 or do you go for a quick 2? That's the question I'll ask you.
The quickest you can get.
The quickest you can get. Back to Phoenix after this. And I believe the Huskies have changed their mind and have called a 20-second timeout. So getting back to your point, you go for the best shot you can get.
34.4 seconds is a lot of time, particularly when you have guys who can shoot the 3. If you're Gonzaga, you take whatever you can get. I don't think that it's time you have to worry about simply shooting the 3-point shot. Now, if you're UConn, you got to get out and guard the 3. You certainly don't want to give up an easy one.
So Calvary inbounding the ball along with Santangelo, Hall, Fromm, and Eaton. 4 3-point shooters on the floor for this Gonzaga squad. And Santangelo. And he is 1 of 8 from the field. Santangelo, hesitation, kicks it back out, and Hall saves it. Here's Fromm, 15-foot runner, short, rebound, Eaton, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Connecticut with 16.4 to go.
Justin, now you may be in that situation where you've got to look for the 3.
So Hall inbounding the ball, puts things in motion, looking, up top Eaton. Eaton to Santangelo, 12 to shoot. Santangelo, double clutch, no good. Whistle and foul inside. And Santangelo probably should have looked for the 3.
When he penetrates into the lane, if he's going to get all that defensive pressure, you need to kick the ball back out. Santangelo looking for the 3 the old-fashioned way, trying to get in, penetrate, and draw the foul. Really a tough shot. Great defense again by UConn. I think the Huskies are beginning to feel it.
There's Jim Calhoun.
Putting the vigorish on him there, isn't he?
Oh, I tell you, nice little dance on the sideline for Coach Calhoun. And that's the Connecticut 2-step.
They called the foul against Hall.
And if the foul is against Hall, he is out of here with 18 points. That's his 5th. And Freeman refusing to step to the line early. Freeman, 3 of 5 from the free throw line.
Just got to make one.
And he did it.
Jim Calhoun telling his troops, no fouls, no fouls. Everything else has happened to Connecticut. The last thing they need to do is to foul a 3-point shooter and have him make the basket.
1 more for Freeman. And he got it. Calvary inbounding. Knocked away, Freeman, and that will do it! The Connecticut Huskies are heading to the Final Four. Finally. Bracket here in the West Regional. Connecticut advances, and they will play the winner of the South. And the Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are Quentin Hall, 18 points, 8 rebounds for the senior. He's only 5'8", and Richard Hamilton, 21 points and 4 rebounds. We'll return to Phoenix after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship. Coming up, Greg Gumbel in New York after this.
Greg Gumbel back in New York, coming up at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Game 2 of our regional championship doubleheader. 4th seed Ohio State, 3rd seed St. John's from Knoxville, Tennessee. That's coming up at 6 Eastern Time. But right now, on the heels of the Huskies' 67-62 win over Gonzaga, let's send you back to Phoenix and rejoin Gus Johnson and Dan Bonner.
All right, Greg, standing with the victorious Connecticut Huskies, Coach Calhoun, after all the years of disappointment, finally, and you can smile a little bit.
Well, I can smile an awful lot. I've never been disappointed in my kids, only in results we didn't get there. All those teams before, I love them, and I love this basketball team just the same way. I've had great, great kids.
And how about your backcourt today? Would you have thought that 0 for 12 from this young man and you guys would still win?
Yeah, but he made big plays to win games, and I'll tell you, we didn't play our great game tonight. We just played our great hot game tonight.
Gus, a guy who did make big plays is Rip Hamilton. Rip, what was the difference in the game?
Coach House told us, this could be our last 40 minutes. Coach kept on emphasizing that. And everybody just dug deep, and Jake and them said great screens for me. Kyle and Ricky got me the ball where I could score at. And I just made them.
Congratulations, Gus.
All right, here's Khalid El-Amin, battle-tested Huskies all season. Now let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, thank you, Gus and Dan. 67-62, UConn into the Final Four. We'll take a timeout and continue with more right after this. Greg Gumbel, Clark Kellogg, Rick Majerus back in New York, where the Connecticut Huskies have knocked off Gonzaga in the West Regional Final in Phoenix, 67-62. Let's send you back out to Phoenix, Arizona. Barry Booker is there. Barry.
Thanks, Greg. Coach Munson, great run through the tournament.
Yeah, it certainly was, and I can't be more proud of these kids. And I told them the only thing that they can feel bad about is that they can't play another game together because it's a special group. And I think they got to be extremely proud of how they played in this tournament and how they played all year.
Do you think you've earned that respect you were looking for?
I should hope so. I mean, if people can't identify with how hard these kids played and the effort that they put forth in this tournament and all year long, and can see that even tonight, when we're supposed to be a jump shooting team, when somebody took us out of that and we struggled, what competitors they are, I think people got to see that this team was for real and belonged here.
Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Greg.
All right, Barry, we were all privileged indeed to be witnesses to Gonzaga's trek through the NCAA tournament this season. Coming up next, South Regional Final from Knoxville, Tennessee. 4th seed Ohio State, 3rd seed St. John's. We'll send you there. Sean McDonough and Bill Raftery will call the action right after this message and a word from your local station.